All right, satellite TV subs are shifting to streaming, even in rural areas. This according to the CEO of DirecTV. I don't even know who the CEO of DirecTV is anymore. I have no clue, man. I used to pay more attention to some of those companies, but it's been a while. All right. DirecTV and Dish satellite TV subs have been pivoting to various streaming services rather than switching between the two traditional pay TV rivals. This according to DirecTV CEO Bill Morrow, specifically in rural areas. They're trying to merge. I don't know. They can't really merge without approval. They can't really merge without an agreement on money. They got a bunch of hurdles that are kind of in the way. But research and inside information says that in rural areas, when customers do leave satellite TV, there's clear evidence that they tend to jump to subscription, video on demand, or other types of over-the-top streaming TV services. A small percentage that actually moves between the satellite TV services, Dish and DirecTV. So the way I'm seeing this, Max and Zero Cool, is they're not leaving Dish to go to DirecTV. They're not leaving DirecTV and going to Dish. They're going from Dish or from DirecTV and going to streaming. Cord cutting. That's kind of what I'm taking from this. So they're getting Netflix, they're getting, Hulu Live, YouTube TV, whatever, Paramount Plus, whatever apps they're getting, right? Well, all those different platforms. But they're not, because the companies aren't growing, dude. They're all losing a lot of customers. Zero Cool, your take on this, man? The fate of these two companies, is a merger essential to just salvage something out of this?
I don't think the merger is going to happen either. Well, at least I think one of those companies is going to be dissolved. Maybe, I don't know. They had the opportunity to do it, and it just fell through. So
but it was the business transaction that was the problem.
No, I know. I don't see it happening again. I really don't. They should have thought of that. Usually the lawyers have their ducks in a row, or like or maybe the shareholders. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. They didn't use some good bait. You know what I mean, for the shareholders. But so the thing is with DirecTV. You see these commercials, right? No, it doesn't require a satellite dish anymore, right? So they're going to streaming. So you see this because. A large part of this is because where these DirecTV and Dish subscribers will have just the TV services, if they now, and maybe just a slow DSL back in the day, they now have, right, either fiber or they have fixed wireless. A lot of these are going to be like fixed wireless customers to where they have internet now, to where they're like, oh, okay, I don't need to pay for a high price satellite. I can just pick the streaming options of what I want because I have either, FWA or whatever, that I can just, use my internet for my TV, which is a lot of people are doing, right?
You bring up that point, Zero Cool, just to kind of elaborate on that quickly. Mm-hmm. When a customer feels comfortable switching from wireline and satellite internet to FWA, then they're much more likely to probably start switching other stuff like cord cutting.
Exactly. Yeah. So another thing is that the people that for example that just had the internet and had like DirecTV satellite, now they're doing the streaming with like DirecTV itself, so they don't need this like the commercials say, they don't need the clunky satellite. So what we're seeing here, right, is I don't know if you have any more streaming stores cooked up for tonight, but what we're seeing here, okay, is a couple things, three things actually. Three things. Let me just go over really quickly. I was reading a stat, I forget which website it was off the top of my head, but 85% of households, have cut the cord. They're doing streaming. It's eventually going to be, in a few years' time, 95%. The days of cable, even cable like Comcast, Spectrum, they're going to the Xumo box. So they're not hooking up like the cable box anymore. They're going straight Xumo. Okay, so that's streaming, right? Everybody's going streaming. Why? Because there's less overhead, number one, less cost for infrastructure, right? You get more high-speed availability with the streaming. You get more bandwidth right? So the less you get more bandwidth for internet, okay, and less on the video side, right? So you push more bandwidth on the internet side, which means greater speeds, better for customers. The other thing is that for the streaming, it's just because a lot more customer choice. You can pick what you want. And thirdly, the FCC, this actually just came out a couple of days ago. The FCC, not the FCC. The broadcasters, think like ABC, NBC, Fox. They want to treat like YouTube, Hulu as cable companies now. They want to, with carriage rights for like to host the locals now because.
All right. So then, what does that do moving forward with respect to those services?
Yep. So what that does actually, it does a couple things. One, for negotiations between broadcasters and like YouTube and stuff, that's gonna up your price. That's one thing. It's gonna up your price, just like how cable used to. Okay. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to ensure that the local channels like ABC, NBC, Fox are going to be on YouTube, on Hulu, on Fubo, guaranteed. Usually, what happened before is they would negotiate, like Fubo or Hulu would negotiate on behalf of the actual. They would use the broadcaster themselves and negotiate that rate. Right, they would use ABC. They would use like a middleman to do it. Right now, they have to. If the FCC redefines everything and classifies like YouTube TV and Hulu and Fubo and whatever else, Sling, whatever else is out there as cable companies. Yep. So that means no, not just correct. Just because those are streaming apps. There's a difference between the live TV streaming, correct, and then video on demand streaming. Right. So the live TV option, if the FCC in the which this I've been doing some digging, this will most likely happen. Why? Because the linear TV model, the cable, coaxial cable, and the old Uverse TV is dead and gone. Right. So.
We used to have that. It was trash.
Dude, everybody had that at some point, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hold on.
So basically, once this happens, then the YouTube TVs of the world will get treated just like every cable company, and then they'll be able to negotiate rates based on their carriage contracts versus the locals versus national channels and so on. That will up your price a little bit, yes, but however, you're going to be guaranteed your channels. Now, this is very pertinent to like NHL ticket, NFL ticket, NASCAR, stuff like that. So they'll be able to carry those specific channels. And I remember, satellite just used to be the carrier of choice for that, right? Not anymore. They're able to deliver that content OTT, over the top, or based off via for your internet, right? That's how your streaming services are delivered. So it's going to be. You can look for this in the future. This is just getting started. So you're going to see cable, TV, Uverse obviously out the door. Streaming becoming the new thing. No one's going to have a cable box anymore. Everything's going to be Apple TV, a Roku, Google TV, right? Or
we all got something, right?
Yes. Yeah. So this is coming quick, which is good. This is actually going to free up again more bandwidth for internet, so you'll be able to have your 5 gig fiber and have 20 TVs streaming 8K eventually in your house. So that's the future. So.
And Max, you want to add to any of this?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is totally expected. Of course, cord cutting has become a thing. It was a thing 10 years ago. Honestly, probably it's so. Rural's getting it a little later than others. I guess that makes sense to me. What's crazy though is rural's getting it later than other places, other markets. Clearly is what we're seeing, because the only people who are still hanging out to satellite are the rural customers. What's crazy now is streaming has become the anti-hero. Right now it's just as bad as cable with respect to pricing and stuff. Maybe it's a bit more flexible. Maybe you're not getting into a contract. Maybe you don't have to rent a box, but YouTube TV is now $83 a month. It launched at $35 a month. So the price, the saving side of things isn't really there. The convenience.
But Max, there's nowhere to turn. Like
Right.
everybody's been pivoting, right? This thing goes up, so they went to something else. That thing went up, so they went to something else, right?
Right, exactly.